The American Bus Association presents Motorcoach Travel News. Here's Dan Ronan.
Hello and welcome to the 4th edition of the American Bus Association's Motorcoach Travel News. I'm Dan Ronan in Washington. It was great to meet many of our ABA members who attended Marketplace 2012 in Grapevine, Texas last month. Marketplace 2013 is in Charlotte, North Carolina. More on that later. And now our top story. We're going to look at the very strong growth in the motor coach industry, in particular, the scheduled carriers. A new study from Chicago's DePaul University says in 2011, scheduled departures jumped by more than 7%. Curbside departures are up by a whopping 30%. Long term, the demographics are very positive.
Young people don't have any particular affinity toward the car. I mean, they just want to get from A to B and they want to do it as quickly as possible. And intercity bus service is just so well suited for them. That's why we see on college campuses, on routes that link pleasure destinations, we just see a kind of a rebirth.
Free Wi-Fi, plug-ins, and cellular availability are 3 reasons why motor coach service is becoming more popular. Now, the second most popular form of public transportation, just behind the airlines. Professor Schwederman says there's another reason why bus ridership is way up.
When you look at the evolution of this industry, that you start throwing in the discount fares that are offered. You talk about the ability to use electronics, the ability to work right till you get downtown. People are willing even to endure slightly longer trips from endpoint to endpoint because of just the low-stress nature of the trip. We're now seeing people take the bus 5-6 hour trips, even though arguably that may be an hour or an hour and a half longer than flying, because they just see it's such a more rational, kind of sane way to get to where they want to go.
The full report from DePaul University is on our website at buses.org. Speaking of developing new information about the motor coach industry, the ABA is asking our members to fill out the 2011 census. The information is now online at buses.org. The deadline has been extended to February the 27th. All operators who finish the survey will be eligible to win a $500 Visa gift card. The Motor Coach Census is one of the few comprehensive sources of information on the industry. The information is used to educate policymakers and the public about the importance of the motor coach travel and tourism industry.
This is Motorcoach Travel News.
ABA President and CEO Peter Pantuso now joins me. So what about the successes this past Marketplace?
Well, Marketplace was by all accounts a tremendous success. We had more appointments, we had more operators. We had so many other things going on at the show that drew in operators, tour operators, motor coach operators, and that attracted an entirely new group of individuals that came to Marketplace that hadn't been there before. It was an incredible success by all accounts. People did business. The travel members who were there saw more operators to work with than they'd seen before. The operators were engaged, they're upbeat, they're ready for 2012 and 13 and beyond. It could not have gone any better.
This was the inaugural meeting of Women in Buses.
Well, you know, we talked about creating this group, Women in Buses, for about 6 months. We reached out to a lot of operators, female operators, owners, general managers, individuals in the industry who have done a monumental job of moving the industry forward. And we've always at ABA tried to be inclusive rather than exclusive. And we heard from a lot of operators, female operators in particular, that they would like to work more with some of their peers from around the country. And that's what helped us put it together. This is a group that I think will be together and united for a long time. They've got some things they want to do in terms of education and training and information sharing. And those will be the next steps as we continue to grow the Women in Buses group.
We saw Debbie Hersman, the chairman of the NTSB, on the product pavilion and very involved for the 2 days she was there.
Chairman Hersman wanted to come and see Marketplace, see the industry, see how it all worked together and fit together. She understands the transportation component. She had the opportunity to see the travel component and understand how people travel, where they travel, why they travel, and obviously the motor coach was a key piece of that. She participated in a couple of Women in Buses events, much to the delight of all the operators who were there. And she toured the floor. She saw a lot of safety enhancements on buses, 3-point seat belts, stability control, fire suppression, new designs, and all of these enhancements are there really voluntarily. The manufacturers have put them on the coach without federal regulation.
Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration held their hours of service hearing. Tell me about it.
Hours of service is a hot issue right now. It's getting a lot of attention, a lot of discussion at the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and throughout the halls of the Department of Transportation. FMCSA did 2 listening sessions, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and they were broadcast all across the country. And we had tremendous participation in that room during those hearings. We must have had 50 or 60 operators in there at any given time, and there was a constant flow of operators coming and going and listening and giving their comments and participating. It's something we're going to hear a lot about for the next 6 months.
Marketplace is going back to Charlotte next January, but this is really a totally revitalized city.
Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a place where we had Marketplace about 4 years ago. It was one of the best marketplaces that we ever had. And we're going back for the simple reason that Charlotte has seen a tremendous increase in growth of tourism because of Marketplace being there, and Charlotte's a brand new city. There are so many new venues, the NASCAR Hall of Fame, their entertainment district, so many new things that when people go back to Charlotte in 2013, they're going to a brand new city, not the same Charlotte they saw a few years back.
This is Motorcoach Travel News.
Motorcoach Travel News, MTN, continues in just a moment with a story on what the industry is doing to help our military veterans, and we'll have our legislative update.
Crew Connect is a tool for tour planners to be able to get quotes from multiple suppliers as they plan their tours throughout the United States and Canada. So the time-saving element of this is terrific, and we're very, very pleased with how it's going.
This is Motorcoach Travel News.
Congress is back in session, and several bills are before lawmakers that are important to the motorcoach travel and tourism industry. The ABA's Senior Vice President for Government Affairs, Clyde Hart, joins us. Clyde, thanks for joining us. What's the status of the transportation reauthorization bill?
Well, there's been movement on both ends of Capitol Hill in the last couple of days after Secretary of Transportation LaHood said publicly that he didn't think there was going to be a chance for a transportation bill. All of a sudden that got movement on both sides. So on the Senate side, the Senate Finance Committee, which is in charge of finding the money, has a list of possible offsets to pay for a transportation bill at least for 2 years. They're going to discuss those, and then we'll see if that leads to a bill on the floor of the Senate. My betting is it will. And then on the House side, Congressman Micah, who chairs the Congressional T&I Committee, is committed to marking up his bill, and Speaker Boehner has said that he will have floor time sometime in February. So there is movement in terms of transportation reauthorization.
This is an election year 2012. Is that going to help or hinder this transportation bill?
I think you can go both ways on that. I think that if Congress hurries and gets something done in the next couple of months or so, and but I say hurry and get something done, I mean something to the president's desk, I think the president will sign it. The longer we go into the year, the more problematical it is that we will get a transportation reauthorization bill, because then at some point this year it's going to be an election year, and then everything will be off the table.
ABA is really interested in 2 bills particularly, the Schuster bill and then the Crawford bill to establish this drug and alcohol clearinghouse. Where is that at?
I think will be included in the House-passed transportation reauthorization bill. I think those are 2 significant wins for the bus industry and for the association.
Intercity bus grants were cut last year, so there's a move now to try and bring them back. Do you think that's got any chance?
Peter had a meeting with the administrator of the Transportation Security Administration to talk about that issue. So those negotiations are ongoing that we can possibly get that money back.
This is the first time Clyde Hart has joined us on MTN. And Clyde, congratulations for recently being named one of the most effective lobbyists in Washington, D.C. in the annual list put together by Association Trends.
This is Motorcoach Travel News.
Our military families and veterans are paying a high price to defend our freedom. And the motor coach industry is doing a lot to help our nation's veterans. Just days before Christmas in Dallas, more than 1,700 children of our fallen military heroes and their surviving spouses attended the 6th annual Snowball Express. 5 days and 4 nights of fun, relaxation, and memories for the families who have lost a parent in uniform since September 11th. Greyhound, Coach America, and the Dallas County Public School System donated dozens of motor coaches to move the families from venue to venue.
When you can create an event with buses traveling down the freeway, to create an event that actually does give you goosebumps, it is an amazing thing. The drivers have been some of the most spectacular people. They know who they are carrying. They understand the importance of these kids and their moms. They know what these families have given for this country.
Well, it's something very important to our CEO and also to all of our employees. We have several employees that are veterans themselves.
Motor coach companies continue to donate buses and staff to help other veterans organizations, including Wounded Warrior trips and World War II veterans coming to Washington, D.C. MTN Motorcoach Travel News continues in just a moment.
Crazy Dave here. While I may be crazy most of the time, here at Mobile View we are serious about safety. While driver cell phone usage and texting is a rising problem, it is not here at DC Trails. With our real-time driver surveillance, drivers' habits can be remotely monitored to assure safe driving.
Here at DC Trails, Mobile View ensures that safe driving is recorded and rewarded.
Be safe, be secure, be in view. Mobile View.
This is Motorcoach Travel News.
Another illegally operating bus company has the attention of FMCSA, the American Bus Association, and local officials. Double Happiness Transportation of Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania, was ordered shut down by a federal judge. The company previously ignored shutdown orders.
One of the administrator's 3 priorities to remove high-risk carriers from the road. And we're doing that. In 2011, we issued 11 imminent hazard orders against passenger carriers. They're just unsafe.
Meanwhile, in Wilmington, Delaware, city officials are helping enforce the federal shutdown, closing down one of the buildings where Double Happiness did business.
This is Motorcoach Travel News.
The ABA is urging Priceline to pull its new and apparently final ad with actor William Shatner. The commercial shows the Priceline negotiator on a bus that falls off of a bridge and into a river and explodes. The ABA told Priceline CEO the ad is in very poor taste and portrays the motor coach industry in a negative light. Dozens of media outlets picked up the ABA's complaints about the ad. So far, no response from Priceline. Tourism adds nearly $2 trillion to the U.S. economy. Still, the government says the nation needs to expand its tourism base. The White House is making several recommendations and policy decisions it says could add as many as 1 million tourism jobs to the U.S. economy in the next decade. 12 ABA members have been named to the U.S. Travel and Tourism Advisory Board. One organization that's in the forefront of expanding travel and tourism is SCULL.
When I go back and say it's the largest organization of travel professionals, that's really important to us because you have an organization of bus companies, you have organizations of hotels, you have organizations of travel agents, but this encompasses every single thing that could possibly have to do with travel.
In other industry news, the International Motor Coach Group has a new president. Bronwyn Wilson comes to IMG after service as president of Australian Pacific Touring, an international touring and travel corporation. Beginning in late February, nominations for the top 100 destinations in North America are open. ABA's list highlights the top 100 best events for group travel in the U.S. and Canada. ABA's member motor coach and tour companies use this list to plan future events for their customers. The final judging takes place in the spring. There's more information about this on our website at buses.org/top 100. We're always looking for story ideas, so drop us an email at mtn@buses.org. And that's our report. I'm Dan Ronan with the American Bus Association. Thanks for watching this edition of Motorcoach Travel News, MTN.